Abundance Thursdays with myself, Walter Morello, and the great Vinney Smile Chopra. Vinney, welcome back, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, Walter. It's such a pleasure to be here. Abundance Thursday, Abundance Mindset that we do together, the show. We've been doing it for about a year and a half or more. And please, everybody, join us 9 a.m. every Thursday morning Pacific and 12 noon. So, lunchtime, just get a little dose of abundance mindset with Vinny and Walter. Very
And the,
excited about the summit. We were just talking about that, Walter. Our 100 Millionaire Summit 2023 is coming up and November 3rd to the 5th, right there in Orlando Hotel. Get your seats booked, and also the hotel. Very good deal. I just booked mine yesterday, so I'm very excited to do book signing on three books. That my third book is coming out, the Senior Living Investing, and of course my new book on the positivity brings profitability, maybe with the new title. All that, you
I
bet,
love it.
brother.
So, Vinney, you just like handled all the stuff we were just talking about. So, I was like, man, we got to hit record because all of this is something that the community needs to know. So, if
Ah,
we could, before we talk about the wealth principle today, if we could go back to why
mhm.
you rewrote Positivity Brings Profitability. You were just saying it felt a little thin, and I thought that was
Yeah. I feel like, when somebody gives me $10 or $8, or I even give for free now, the key thing is I want to give my best. And my wife read that book. She read my first book, Syndication Made Easy, which is with a portfolio now from a quarter million to a billion. And that's the new title, the cover and all that, right? But then my wife said, you know what? Can I say something to you? That's positivity brings profitability didn't really, make that big impact. And that really, I never take critiquing badly at all. I always look at it that somebody mentioned or said very close to me, we've been married 41 years. I said, honey, I'll do my best. So I started rewriting it, brother, and I added some chapters. Still, it didn't come out to the right place. So now I'm going to rewrite the whole book into a brand new cover, brand new title, and everything so that I can give my best because positivity has been my life. Abundance mindset, my mind, how I take negatives out, how positivity has really changed my world and the people around me. So I feel like I owe it to everybody to put more ideas, more things, how to really practice that.
Yeah, it's important because one of the challenges I face at all times is joy, is staying joyful, staying positive. Because I find the more I'm in joy, the more positive I am, the more deals happen for me, the more money I make, the more all my team is happy. And
Yes.
like having these tricks and like different like stories and ideas and ways to make it work as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and especially as a real estate investor is really important, but nobody really talks about it, Vinny. I think that's the problem
Yeah.
with our industry is even with your book, you're saying, positivity brings profitability. It wasn't your best-selling book, right? Obviously,
No, it
apartment
yeah.
syndication really just exploded and helped a lot of people because it's what people want. They want to learn how to buy real estate. They want to learn how to do
Yeah.
apartment syndication. And what they really need is to understand the abundance mindset, to understand that
You
positivity,
got it. Oh my gosh, you hit
but
the
not the
nail on
fake
the head.
stuff, right? Like not the fake
Yeah,
stuff, like the real stuff.
exactly. Real stuff. Because if the mind cannot conceive, we cannot achieve. If the mind is so muddled up with all the different things which won't make us productive, then we won't be productive. If the mind is such a thing, the thought pattern, the mind, the everyday resetting of our, value systems and everything back to the true north, I call it, it's so, so, so important in life. Because if we don't really get excited about life
Yeah.
on everyday basis, our mindset plays such a big role. I think it's 90% as that. Skills is only 10%.
Yeah, if the math is even close to that,
Yeah.
brother, like, because I know, like, learning from you, the more I spend time with you, and for everybody who's listening, like, Abundance Thursdays is not just what you get to hear and see. Vinny and I speak a little before, we speak a little after, and I get a lot of amazing coaching. And then all the questions I ask Vinny during this call is for my own personal development. Obviously, a lot
Ah,
of questions come from people in Alchemist Nation, like friends
Mhm.
who I'll go and I'll ask Vinny these things live for you. But a lot of it really is just very personal. It's like, okay, like Vinny, I'm struggling with this, so I'm gonna ask that question. I think Vinny, you probably know that. Like it's on some level you're helping me out too. Uh, so
I'm
for
just a humble man. I'm a humble man, man. I mean, you guys put me at pedestal, on a pedestal. I appreciate that. But I'm just a regular person trying to make a better world. All the people around me, get this energy. And I mean, it's just mind boggling to me. I don't know how my body reacts. And the key thing is, I think people just kind of like somehow the energy, the positivity I emit, and the smiles I give, things like that. But I
it's
appreciate it.
it's interesting that for those who are listening, like if you really want to get wealthy and successful, obviously you've got to do what I'm doing. You got to do what Vinny did. Get around successful people, listen to how they
Yep,
think, listen to how they work.
totally,
And
totally,
one of the
totally.
things that I want you to pay attention to is Vinny had an opportunity to write 3 books in his life, right? And writing a book is not a small thing. He and I were talking about that before this, all the trudgery and the work that goes into it. And
Yes,
even
yes.
after you've done all that, you still hire somebody to go and like look at the book and fix all the spelling
Mm-hmm.
errors and fix sentences. Because as Vinny
Yes,
just admitted to me earlier, he's like, look, I'm not the best writer.
right.
Uh,
No.
but I have professionals who can help make me look a little bit easier. So the stories are easier to
Yes.
read. So if you've ever read a really good book, it's not just the author involved. Like there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scene, but it's a lot of work. And so Vinny in his life has chosen 3 separate books. Like Vinny, I'm just having this conversation with you. I'm just thinking about it. Like your first book was Apartment Syndication. You were very excited about it. You wanted everybody to know this knowledge. And then after
Yes,
that book was out, you realize you're training all these students, right? You've trained hundreds and hundreds
yes,
of students, and they've become millionaires, multimillionaires. Your students have bought billions of dollars worth of real estate,
yeah,
and you realize the next book had to be Positivity Brings Profitability, which I think is
yeah.
very interesting because you read a tactical skill book, and then you go and you write a mindset book. And what's really cool is now your third book is residential assisted living. So I can kind of see where your
Yes,
head's going. I can see the
yes,
journey.
yes.
I think as I'm so close on the inside, like just talking to you every week, that
Ah,
like
thank
knowing
you.
where your head is at, you do see the silver tsunami as the greatest
Big,
transfer of wealth, the greatest
huge.
problem challenge we have in this country that also creates a lot of
Yes,
opportunity. And you
yes.
shifted from multifamily and you've talked very deeply
Mhm.
about positivity. And now you're saying RAL is where the world needs to learn. But while you're doing that, and this is the part that I think is very interesting, is you're going back and you're revising and retake, like just ripping apart this positivity book and saying this needs a new spin. This was effective, but not as effective as I want it to be, because you're now
Yeah,
going into a new direction with this RAL, and you're just saying, like, really, like I've got to do better. And it was your wife,
yeah.
which I think segues us into
It-
this
it-
principle anyway.
Totally, totally. And the best thing is, I would say to everybody, don't take critique as a critique. Don't take it as a offensive things at all. But look at introspectively. If your life partner, your friends, your other people tell something to you, they have thought through, they have kind of looked at, and they have conceptualized, and they are trying to tell you to get better, to grow, and become a better person, and take it in good stride. And that's what nothing worries me, nothing bothers me. I mean, people can tell me I'm the scum or this or that. I mean, not like that, but like the things that which I can improve on. Why not? Why not? Right? And integrity and balance and honesty and trust and all that is so important in life, so important in life. So positivity book, I think, can really change everybody's growth patterns to the best, and they can achieve so much more in life in one day, in 2 days, in 5 days. Everybody needs to be more positive in this negative world. I mean, a lot of time, I even have the website of Google of Happiness, Google of Fitness, or something like that. I got 9 years back. My goal was to really spread the word about happiness and smiling and positivity all across the world. And I still own that. I keep on paying yearly fees for those domains. If anybody wants to join me, hands, I would love to. Google of Happiness. I just felt like if I could portray and make it a news channel at that landing website where people can come if they are in adverse situations, or if they are going through some family crisis, or if they are going through negativism, they are able to come there and then click on the links. That was my idea. I
I
won't
like
be
this.
publishing anything. I won't be publishing nothing, but I will be giving them this tremendous opportunity to just come there, click on the video, and watch it. You
I
know,
like this,
on
Vinny. You know what? I think I got the path to this. You and I can play with that. That's an
thank
easy
you,
one.
brother. Thank
For
you, brother. Thank you.
I got to
Yeah.
go back. You dropped something really important that I know it was so fast that most people will miss this. You just said that when somebody gives you a critique or criticism, that you don't take it negatively, you take it
Not at all.
positively. I
Yeah.
think I think that if a person understands that, most people will avoid confrontation. Most people will avoid
Yes.
hurting somebody else. Most people will avoid. So you said that they thought about it, they contemplated it, they've
Yes.
put this thought
Yes.
together. I think
Yes.
it's really important to recognize that if somebody is giving you criticism, they don't want to. They know
No,
that for the
that's right.
relationship they shouldn't. Like, so they're already thinking
Exactly.
like, I don't know how to say this. I don't want to say this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
somebody has to because I care enough about this person. So if you're getting criticism or critiqued, aside from
Yeah.
the internet I don't count because I think people just
No.
there's like trolls
Yeah.
out there. But if somebody you're
Totally.
friends with or a relationship with is giving you criticism, I think what Vinny just said to you is probably the deepest thing that will change your life and change your mind. Is really look at that and just like honor that person and thank that person because they really did not want to tell you this, but they love
Yeah.
you enough to tell you that. So, yeah, Vinny. Anyway, I'm so
I
sorry.
I appreciate that. No, I
We,
appreciate what you're saying. It's really something we should embellish on, because the thing is, why do we live in this world? Is to grow, make it a better place for ourselves and people around us. So whatever skills we have, we should impart knowledge. I really believe that everybody should write a book. Everybody should be like a news channel for the people around you, to bring the positivity, the positive vibes, and changing the people around you. We are the sum total of five people. You should be the top person in your five people. I always believe that. You want to really share the ideas and things, and make life better for other people.
I like
And
that.
that comes with the gumption that you want to help people. That's the thing. Never expect anything in return. Never, ever, ever, ever. But you will just be surprised when you make that attitude. You give out in abundance without any restrictions, and then the world gives you in many, many fold, 10, 20, 100
Yeah.
times more than you deserve.
Yeah. It's interesting because I want to be very, very careful for those who are listening and saying, well, I've been giving everything and I get nothing. You have to be good at contracts. I think that comes down to, look, we're all going to go put our work in together. We're going to agree upon this thing. And that's where the difference between a broke person and a rich person is that they'll give, and then get to a point where they say, you know what, guys, I think if we all gave together in a single direction, we'd make a lot of money. You want to sign and do this together? And that is where rich people are formed, is in partnerships but only after giving for so long. They gave for so long to each other, to other people, that they start recognizing, oh my God, these are givers. Let's go and give to a very specific group together, like you're doing with RALs and what you're doing with the hospitality. Like you got together with your 6 partners and said, hey, we're all givers. Let's go give in this
Yeah.
particular direction. And we all get a cut from that. So I just want to be very careful as you're listening to, because a lot of people are like, oh, that doesn't work. Giving doesn't work. Well,
Yeah.
you do have to have some sort of contract eventually, but not up front. It shouldn't be, I give, you give. It's not matching. This is true, genuine giving, and then
No,
choosing to
you're so
give
right. You're so
to an
right. I
audience.
think you're 100% right what you said, brother. The thing is that you make partnerships. Partnerships have to be strong with a purpose. And I always say, find the right horse and the right jockey. A lot of you have maybe heard me say that. And I love to participate in the startups and other things, and make sure that the horse is right. The product has to be right, whether it's in the infancy stage or it's a toddler, or youth, or whatever, right, in those stages. But then you put your money where your mouth is, and then you become a member of the board, and and all that, and you influence the direction of that startup company and things like that as best as you can, right? That's the big part. Like cloud defense, right? I feel really proud that we have 6 billionaires on the board of directors, and I was able to attract one of the billionaires right there. And then we are just making all the strides to make our product better and better and better. Scarlet Books, and then Evoke Mastermind. I mean, then we have, of course, I'm trying to remember now, several other Plug XR, all these, right? But then let's talk about hospitality now, our unicorn hospitality. That is a partnership where we have brought 100 years of experience under one roof. 100 years of experience in hospitality, even more than that. So all those things are what we are talking about today. Let's talk about that, because
I love it because
yeah.
you segued right into it. If you think about like, so for those of you who don't know what the wealth principle today is, we're talking about wealth principle 35, create an awesome team around you. And even though we start with positivity, it is actually the qualifier for being on the team, for being in the trusted team. And Vinney and I have talked about a lot offline. We haven't really said much online about like his past partnerships and then his new partnerships, and how like the past partnerships got him to here, but then to get to this next level, he's looking to go to get $3 billion worth of real estate. He had to shift his partners to think bigger, to be a little more abundant, to be a little more skilled, a little more talented in very specific ways. And he said it, it's night and day, to change it out. We don't talk about it online because he loves all of his past partners and everything is, good relationships there. But the change has been so dramatic and so huge in his life. Now he's taken 2 massive vacations, almost month-long vacations this year with his family, spending time. And I think a lot of that comes to the team and creating an amazing team around you. A lot of people are getting into residential assisted living. A lot of people are still learning about syndication from you, and they're learning about hospitality. If you could, Vinney, just share the importance of the team, the importance of creating a team, and then maybe like how you do it. Because I know, like, one, you qualify their mindset. That's the first thing you're doing, is qualifying their mindset. You get along. We just pounded pretty hard on that. What are the next things you look for? What does it take to run a great RAL? What does it take, like operators, and who do you look for first?
Huge, brother. We could go into any facet. Let's say RAL, residential assisted living, is what RAL is, of course. And I say M MRL, right? What is that? Multifamily assisted living. So MAL. Sorry, that's my new word, right? Because I've been in the multifamily field, and I always believe that we can serve more seniors rather than 8 seniors or 10 seniors at a time. Then it's like a single family home concept. But I've shifted 16 years back into multifamily, and that's why I love hotels, because we are serving 120 guests every night, or 160 guests every night if you're 100% occupied, if you're 85%, so forth, like that. So my thinking of abundance kind of comes from that, my logical mind, the brain, my engineering background, whatever. So serving in bunches. And I also believe in investors, also serving investors at higher levels, and many investors through webinars, which we did it last week. And we did it on Saturday, actually, for the hospitality. But let's talk about it. So you asked me, Walter, brother, that what does it take to really RAL, residential assisted living, is a great avenue to enter into, where you're able to get a single family home, and then it's got 10 rooms, let's say, or 8 rooms, or even build it from scratch. In my book, I explain all that. But the key thing is, you've got to figure it out where the need is. Everything starts with a need. So you want to see where people will be retiring, where the licensing can be given to you, first of all, because if you don't get the license from the state or from the county and from the fire department and other things like that, you won't be able to open your facility. So it all starts with feasibility study, all that. Then now let's see, you build it, you renovated it. Now it's the operation part. So in assisted living, I find there is real estate part, there is operations part, 2 businesses. And then you could even give that managing of the asset to a third party, which my daughter and I have talked about it quite a lot. We're going to be doing that, from this point forward. It's very difficult because there is so many personnels are involved. And when we are working remotely from California, it's kind of difficult. So having these third party management teams, just like we do now for our multifamily also. Our great partners, Greystones and Bell Partners and Ram Partners and RPM, RPM, I think, all those. So they're doing fabulous job. We manage the managers, we call it, right? Weekly
So
basis. Go
so
ahead,
at your
please.
level, you're kind of level managing. You do this for your investors, right? Because obviously your investors don't want to go and get licensing. They don't want to find the locations. They don't want to, do a
Sure.
little research, demographic research to see if people are retiring there. So you're doing all this behind the scenes for your investors, and
Yes.
then you're looking for. It sounds like you're looking for a person who can get the licensing or has the licensing in place already,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then you're looking for a person who can do the construction if it's a new construction or a remodel, or if you're acquiring an
Totally.
existing one, then you're looking for maybe an operator to turn it around or bring it
Yep.
up.
Mm-hmm.
um there's a lot involved there, and then obviously you need the nurses, right? You need the person who can manage the actual facility,
Yes.
manage the staff, recruit, finding tenants, right? Because it's not like you just post a listing on the internet. This is very
No,
different,
no.
right?
Very different, brother. Very different. I mean, my facility of 88 units or 94, let's say Punta Gorda, right? We have 38 personnel on payroll. Every two
Wow.
weeks, we have to pay 38 people for 94, and we only have 45 or 47 residents at so far because I just opened it, right? So guess what? That's all. It's very big. It's 1-to-1 ratio right now. So
Wow.
we have to have lots of operational budget in starting of any of these assisted livings. I'm finding that, and I write it in the book very clearly that, things are not as rosy as many people say. You know what? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. You can do this, 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 this. So I believe in positivity, but also actual what really happens. So personnel is a big thing. The payroll is a huge thing. The food, the cooking, the cook, all that. Then the nurse, then of course the leasing agent, the business person, executive director. We say business administrator. We termed it differently now. Executive director should be looking at 3 or 4 facilities, just like I used to do regional managers in my apartment, management days and so forth like that. But the key thing I find in all these, Walter, is that we need to find right partners who can bring it to the fruition of your ideas. So we want to see they are totally aligned with your vision, with your core values, with your systems, and they have done. See, everything we want to do in life, somebody's done it. Somebody's done it very nicely. If I start learning how to build hotels today, it'll take me 10, 15, 20 years just to understand all what it takes to build a hotel. Oh my gosh, I don't have that much time. So my thinking is just like in senior living, also, I found a partner who had been doing it for 7, 8 years. We got together and everything. And the same thing is happening in hospitality for me now and senior living because our new strategic partner does know everything. He knows he has built multifamilies from ground up. He's built custom homes. Oh my gosh, million, $2 million homes. And then he's built 78 hotels and then assisted livings also. And he's converted as we speak right now. We are
Before
converting
we
one.
change the subject, I want to let everybody know, if you want to know what Vinny's RALs look like, what his big MALs look like, you can actually go back. I think it was maybe 4 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, Abundance Thursday. Vinny was in one of his buildings. He was walking through the units, walking through the hallways, through the 3 different courtyards. So you get to see the different the pool room, the game room, the different pools. So it was a really wild experience. If you want to see like what he's actually talking about, his quality of life for his residents is bar none, just top notch. So you've got to go check it out. And I'm not selling it. I think that deal's already been invested in. There's nobody can finance that deal. It's just, you want to understand the quality that he's putting out there. What he's talking about is not just, have a place where old people live. This is genuine quality. Like, you have to bring a great product to the marketplace, and obviously his investors can see like the tangible results of the tenants living there and the residents living there and being happy. So it is because of his team. And Vinny like
So
Vinny, you've
true.
only been there a handful of times, right? Like, was maybe that
Yeah,
was like one of
handful, brother. Yeah, we do talk and we do Zoom meetings every week. My daughter is fully involved. My partner is involved, and we change some personnel, over there, which is very good, positive thing. But we keep pulse of what's happening. I think the challenge which I have really faced in the last 3 years after COVID has been financing the construction loans and banks just kind of shutting down and all that and increasing costs. That's what I say to everybody. Please, please, please look at what your estimates are, and the subcontractors and everything have ample funds to do the construction. So that has been little bit challenging for my partner and I, and so forth. We are very honest
and you're
people.
very good
We
at
are.
it, Vinny. You're very good at it. And there's a
Thank
lot of
you,
operators
thank
that are
you,
not very good at it, who didn't think
thank
the way
you,
you've been
thank
thinking, who are
you.
not thinking long term, and who are losing their properties.
They
We
are,
saw
they are.
Houston, 5,000 units back on the market,
So
foreclosed. Like,
sad, so
and those are the ones
sad.
that are hitting the news, right?
Yeah,
There are
they
a lot of
are.
people who are losing big buildings, big properties. They over leveraged. They had the wrong team. They didn't put their team together. And I think that's why this
Mm.
principle is so important. Is you're very good. The reason your net worth is so high, the reason your asset is so high, is because you're good at the team. It's not like Vinny doesn't know how to do the flooring. He doesn't know how to install
No,
tiles, right? He's not over there
not at
fixing
all.
the windows. He's
No,
talking to
I won't have
somebody,
time. That'll be a very expensive window if I fix it.
right? I think you said something to me maybe 6 months ago. It was a while back. We were talking about teams again. Maybe it was last year. Maybe we were talking about teams
Yeah,
last year.
yeah,
And you said it to me. You said that your job is to get on the phone with your partners and make sure that their mind is right. Make sure that
yeah.
they're getting the high five, make sure they're getting complimented, make sure that they're doing the
Yes,
right
yes,
things, their heads in the right space. But for the most part,
yes.
they're smarter than you. So you're really the
Totally.
cheerleader. You're really the
My, I got it. I got it. You hit the nail on the head, brother. I'm telling you, all CEOs need to be cheerleaders. All CEOs need to be giving the vision. And those members in the team that bring poison, you need to cut them out. You need to cut them out because that poison will penetrate through your organization, your culture. And if it's not acceptable to one, it shouldn't be acceptable to others. Otherwise, it undermines your whole culture. So you got to really be a cheerleader, big, what you just said. It's so important because you got to really make sure everybody's motivated on a daily basis and have the incentive program so that they work better and they think about the work. When they come to work, they're excited about crushing it and giving the best product ever to, like, in senior living or apartments or hotels, because I'm not there. They are my face. They are my face of the Monil brand and unicorn brand and all that, right? So we need to make sure that every team member with us is totally passionate about what they are doing and
100%.
delivering the best of the best product, brother. Best of the best product.
So for those of you out there who are wondering,
Yeah.
where does this go? Where does this lead? Vinny's book is coming out, the RAL. Well, we don't know the title of it, but it's about residential assisted living and multifamily assisted living. That book's coming out. We know for sure that Vinny will have it done before the summit. Vinny, can we hold you
Yes.
accountable? Will the books be
Yes.
ready for us live?
Totally, brother. Totally. My goal is 2 months from now to publish it. I have the
Okay.
very good publisher, and I want to give accolades to my very good friend Kim Lisa Taylor. Kim Lisa Taylor, who is done. She's the syndication attorney in USA, one of the very best, very best. She did 26 syndication offerings for me. I owe her so much, and she really wanted to learn about assisted living, senior living, because that's the silver tsunami. Then she went through my book and made so many changes and so many. I really owe her a lot, and we talked about it last night. She sent me the new draft, and then of course my publisher Mike Lewis is going to be working on it, and we're going to bring it out. It's going to be one of the best books on senior living investing made easy. That's the
So
name, I think, title. Yeah, we are saying.
senior, say that one more
Living
time.
investing made easy. Senior
Senior
living
living
investing made
investing
easy.
made easy. So
Made
for
easy.
I can't promise this, but if I know Vinney and I know how his mind works, he's going to bring 100 copies to the summit. We expect over 1,000
Yes,
people in the
yes,
room,
definitely, definitely,
which
definitely.
means there'll only be 100 people who get a signed copy if you
Yep.
do two things.
Hmm.
One, you got to show up early to the event.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
two, you've got to, after Vinney gets off stage, Vinney, by the way, I've learned I don't talk after you get off stage. From now on, I take a break after you get off because because everybody follows you out of the room. So
I appreciate you,
I learned the
brother.
lesson. So we're gonna make sure that there's a
Ah,
break right after. So anybody who wants book signing, you'll be there, I think, for 2 days. I know the hotel's booked
yes,
for 2 days.
yes,
So
yes, yes,
um,
yes,
and for
definitely.
our
And the
VIPs,
VIP and the
you
VIP dinner, I can't wait. I will be bringing some. We'll bring some books over there also, so that all the VIPs can get the books. I'll bring all three books actually. We can bring the syndication book because we got a great way how to raise money, how to get this, whole ball rolling for you, how to get cash flows. So that's a huge one. Positivity new book and the senior living investing, three books. So we're going to have 100 copies of each, brother. No worries.
Man, so for you who is out there saying, man, I don't know if I'm coming to the summit this year, the answer is yes. You have to be there. You have to hang with Vinney. You have to come see and get these books.
Ah,
These books will be worth a lot because these are signed. And as Vinney continues to
yes,
expand and push his message out, it is
yes.
again not about being the best writing author. It's about being the best known author. And he's
Ah,
been getting on podcasts. He's been getting seen. And we at Alchemist Nation plan on putting him out there in front of a lot of people. So this is
thank
Abundance
you.
Thursdays. You can find us every 9 a.m. PST Thursdays
Yes.
or 12 p.m. EST, that's Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays. This is Abundance Thursday with Walter, myself, and Morello, and Vinney. Smile, Chopra. Cheers to your
Thank you.
success.
Thank you. Cheers to you, brother. And I hope everybody really liked this episode, and God bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Make it a better world.
We'll see you on the next one.